Another episode of Data Shark. Super exciting guest today, Shai from IBM. We'll start with a brief introduction.
So first, thank you for inviting me to this show. My name is Shai Banaim. I'm the general manager of IBM Israel, almost 2 years. Most of my career in IBM, a very diverse and long career in IBM. I basically been everywhere, in Israel, in Europe. I led hardware and software and sales and services. So a very enjoyable, I will say, career in IBM. I live in Tel Aviv, married with 3 lovely children. A couple of words about IBM Israel.
Yes, please.
So IBM Israel was founded in, guess?
הבורסה ברמת גן.
No, but when?
Oh, when was it?
Yeah, so
1949. Wow.
Yes. So we have a very impressive, I will say, operation here in Israel. We have the Haifa Research Lab, where we are doing research on Gen AI, obviously. A very large research lab, very important to IBM as well, with lots of achievements through many years. We also have a center of hardware and software development center in Givatayim, which is basically a consolidation of more than 20 acquisitions that we did in the recent year here in Israel. 2 of them last year, Databand and another security company. We also have a research lab in the south, in Be'er Sheva, based on cybersecurity, and in Petah Tikva, of course, IBM at headquarters in Israel. A couple of sentences on IBM, the big IBM. So IBM's strategy is to become a leader on hybrid cloud and AI for enterprises. 1 sentence. Still, we have, I will say, 5 pillars of focus: hybrid cloud with the Red Hat acquisition and the OpenShift platform. Recently, we announced that we are going to acquire another company, HashiCorp. I don't know if you heard about it. Data and AI based on Watson X. IT automation, which is basically many acquisitions that we did in the recent year, Instana, Turbo, Aptio for FinOps, cybersecurity, and my favorite is quantum computing. So we are leading this technology in the world. You probably saw that in Boston, in our conference, the CEO said that we have more than 70 servers, quantum computer in the world, and more than 250 clients globally that doing, I will say, intensive research with our quantum computing. We also have 3 clients in Israel, and we will have more this year as well. 2 elements in our strategy which are important. One is acquisition. So I mentioned it, and we are doing quite a lot to enrich our portfolio and to bring innovation to our client. And second is partnership, and it's related to our discussion. Partnership with hyperscalers. We have a strategic partnership with AWS. So all the portfolio of IBM is running on AWS cloud in 92 countries. And we are expanded it to Azure and to the rest of the hyperscalers. And the second, which is very important, is a partnership with the ISVs, large ISVs. We already partnering with SAP, which embedding Watson X in their solution, Salesforce, Adobe, Pyramid. And in Israel, we also have Wix and Gigaspace, and we will have much more this year, I believe. So this is really in a nutshell myself, IBM Israel, and the global IBM.
Amazing. Well, listen, IBM is one of the cornerstones for the tech industry worldwide. So, it's definitely an honor to have you here and try to discuss how you and maybe you and IBM see the future. And you mentioned generative AI, Pyramid and IBM, in a way started to partner from a technology standpoint on delivering generative AI capabilities on top of Watson X. Maybe without going too deep into the technological differentiation, public LLMs versus private LLM, big enterprises, as you mentioned, which is kind of the vision of IBM to support those type of organizations that have their own very unique requirements. So watsonx is definitely a very interesting solution that doesn't necessarily resides in the cloud and public data. It supports security profiles. So in your view, is that the way corporates will adopt the power of generative AI?
So I think Gen AI is definitely a revolution. I don't know what is your view, but we believe this is real revolution of technologies. IBM watsonx give the client the flexibility to run on-prem and on cloud, on public cloud, any public cloud, by the way. You know, I'm meeting many clients every day. I met a client from the health sector industry on Sunday, and I discussed with her, it's a she, watsonx and what we can do with that and how we can help them and what are their challenge. The one thing that she said, if it's not on-prem, forget about it. I mean, there are many clients that will get or will say this is our approach. Don't even try to convince us because we have really a sensitive data. Leakage of sensitive data, it's a big risk for us. We prefer to avoid it. And we want to go with you on-prem because you are the only one that's saying that. But many other clients will go also to the public. I think that the hybrid approach is the right approach. If you want the speed of adoption, public cloud, if you have the data risk, then on-prem. But there is a lot of things that we can do on-prem, on cloud, in between. So I think this is the IBM approach. It's the hybrid approach.
Yeah, I think, first of all, it's very smart. And I think that there's definitely uniqueness in the strategy, one versus the other, and it shouldn't be mutually exclusive. I think what we're seeing, and we've been talking about it for years, and people thought that, you know, it's all about cloud, and we were trying to say, listen, in enterprise space, companies have very sensitive, they have unique sensitivity to the type of data that they store, that they use, that they leverage in healthcare, in finance, in retail, in manufacturing, and the list goes on and on. And I think that people can skip the cloud, they won't be able to skip AI. And I think that, and I totally agree with you, that generative AI is a revolution. It's not even an evolution, it's a quantum leap. And we'll talk about quantum computing as well, which is very well connected into all of that, you know, kind of big shift in the way technology is moving forward. But when you think about generative AI, and we're still early days, you know, there's not many use cases that you can speak about in companies. We're all familiar with ChatGPT, and, you know, everybody seem to think that that's going to replace Google search engine, maybe not. But in practical terms, in the commercial sector, what are the use cases that you're running into when it comes to Gen?
So we see use cases around the digital labor and customer service as well. I will give you a couple of examples, very nice, by the way, in the customer service side. So in the financial sector, we are working with a bank in Europe that their objective, and even the bank in Israel, it's the same objective. If you will ask a CIO or CEO what you really want to achieve, they will tell you the digital transformation. But if you go deeper, Shai, we want to move transaction from the call center to the omni-channel. This is what we want to do. But there is one area that they have problems, and this is credit card. Why? Because all of us are looking on our charges every month, and almost every month there is one line that we do not recognize. You know, you do not know exactly what is it, and the first thing that you are doing is calling your bank. So everybody is calling. It's taking 20 minutes. It's not the right way to get the data, let's say. So we build together with the bank a Gen AI application that with a very simple chatbot natural language. You can just ask whatever you want from the credit card system and get the answers in second. A simple implementation and deployment that bring a huge value for the bank. Think about how much they can save. And customer experience to the client. So I don't need to call, to wait. I can just ask very simple, in a simple way, who is the business, what hour, what second, and by doing that to get all the information. So this is one use case, very nice, very simple. And we are expanding this kind of approach to the enterprise.
By the way, is it repeatable? Can you take that now and build a solution that will cater to any bank?
The asset is the asset of the bank. The architecture is related to their architecture. You know, every bank have its own infrastructure, so you need to adjust the architecture, but it's something that everybody is asking for. I mean, I don't need to dig to find the use cases. Another one we see, which is I really like, and you heard it in Boston in our conference, is Sevilla FC, the football team, that they build a scouting application that will help them to do scouting. They are on the stage all the time with IBM. They are really proud of what they are doing. It took like a couple of months. A very simple, architecture to build and project to deploy. They are really proud of it. They see the value already. It's quite new. And I checked if they fired the scouting team because of that. So no, not yet.
It's a hybrid solution.
Yes. So on digital labor, it's about helping you, advising you to do your job faster. I can tell you and share with you that in IBM, we are not just talking about Gen AI, we are actually implementing it in our IT. And I will give you two examples, very nice example. One is the application that we call it Ask HR. So you can ask, again, in natural language, whatever you want about HR, and there are lots of questions to ask. We have Ask IT. I mean,
can
everything.
You get salary increase?
The answer will be no. But I mean, for every areas in the companies, in the IT, you can build this Ask whatever and get very fast the data that you really need in a very simple way, interaction which is very fast. We like it a lot as employees. There are many more. I mean, we build with the client a Gen AI application which relate to recruitment, which is usually a very long process. Think about it. You are getting 200 CVs. Someone need to read the CVs, to filter the CVs, to reply to the other candidate. I mean, it's really a long process. And we build an application with clients that shorten this process significantly. And this is just very few examples what we can do with Gen AI.
Yeah, listen, it is definitely a revolution. And I think that it's going to take over first and foremost the mundane work, right? The labor intense, annoying things that we don't like to do. I think the question will come, is it going to start replacing people in decision making, in more creative roles and responsibilities that they do? And I'll ask you about that. But I think it's an interesting segue to talk about private LLMs and public LLMs. And IBM has also developed and introduced to the market foundational models. And I think that, again, we're all familiar with ChatGPT and OpenAI and Mistral and Llama and all those incredible technologies, but that's public internet. If I'm a bank, if I'm an insurance company, no chance in the world that I'm going to tap my data into the internet. But I still want to get the power of generative AI. So can we talk a little bit about the foundational models and what is the big story behind a private LLM?
So I think that first, there are many concerns for clients which relate to Gen AI. It's the security, it's privacy, it's bias, it's the fairness of the model, it's compliance, it's governance. I mean, it's a long list. And what is really common for all of the things that I said is trust, right?
Yeah.
This is the most important thing. And in IBM, we understand that because we understand better, we understand enterprises, and we build a solution for that, which we will call it Watson X governance. So basically, it will address all those concerns of enterprises. Now, we understand that the way to approach enterprises is to address the security concern. As you said, nobody will share his data with no one, especially sensitive data. So we came with the idea of, first, let's help our client to choose between on-prem and public. Second, we will give them the flexibility to work with any model that they want, that we will certify that this is a trusted model, open source models, our models, Granite, Llama, and all the Mixtral, you are working with Mixtral. So we are giving them the choice to choose the right model for them, for their specific needs. We add on that the governance as well, and with the right people and expert people in IBM, we are helping them to take the right approach. As I said, at the end, it can be hybrid. It can be on-prem, it can be public, it can be both. So our experts, and I think that you're familiar with one of them in Israel, helping our clients to take the right approach in this area. We started doing AI 30 years ago or maybe 20 years ago, so we are very familiar with the technology, and most of all the objectives of enterprise clients. This is we really understand that.
Which is, in your mind, which industry is going to be the first kind of mover when it comes to generative AI?
What I personally see is that ISVs are leading the industries. Why? Because you must be there. You must. So I see all the ISVs, all the software companies are the first to adopt generative AI. But you know what? In the industry, I see it everywhere. Financial sector, I think it's more progressing, obviously, but I can tell you that we have example everywhere. I want to share with you something very interesting. I read a couple of days ago a survey that we are doing with CEOs globally. Every year we are doing this kind of surveys, 3,000 CEOs from 30 countries and industries. And we are asking them about their top priorities, challenges, top technologies. So first, what is really interesting to see, and it's related to your question, is that CEO really understand that they must adopt generative AI, must. Not only that, they think that Gen AI is a competitive advantage. You must do it. And what is really interesting, it's that the CEO are pushing, the investors, the board, I mean, they are the ones that looking ahead on the strategy of the company and pushing very hard the team, the organization to deploy generative AI because they understand what the meaning of that. So this is also very interesting. And by the way, the one top priority of CEO today, I will ask you what is your priority, but last year it was productivity. That was the priority number one. And this year, and I'm not surprised, is services and product innovation. This is the first, and it's really in line with your question, because ISVs, even IBM, I mean, if I will not have Gen AI in my products, and my competitor will have, I'm dead.
Yeah,
I'm dead.
Absolutely.
So what is your top priority?
It's a great question. I would say, we're a small vendor, but for us, innovation, it's all about innovation. We were definitely one of the, the early vendor to come out with what we call generative BI, but basically combining analytics with generative AI. We've done some work with IBM and on top of What's on X. And I think that the power of what What's on X brings to enterprises, coupled with an analytics solution, obviously we want to be the exclusive ones, but regardless of pyramid, I think that it provides a cutting edge competitive advantage, as your CEOs are talking about, that is second to none. If I'm going to be able to run faster, smarter, quicker than anybody else, then it's already quite a remarkable outcome. And I think that we're still at the very, very beginning of this revolution. I want to say that I think I wasn't thinking about IBM in the context of generative AI. IBM, mega company, but when it comes to being able to move so fast, it's actually very surprising to see the foundational models, the What's on X capabilities, the understanding of what is the enterprise looking for versus what generative AI is. So I must say that when we started kind of our journey together with IBM maybe a year ago, it was an eye-opening experience. Not to mention that we got phenomenal support, and I must say that we've attended. Thanks for the invite. the Boston conference, couple weeks ago, which was also, the conference hall had, I think, 50 different stations, different booths. Each one was showing a different variety or a different angle to what can be done with AI. So I think it's definitely everybody's honing in on making it.
I can tell you from my experience in the company that IBM is all in on generative AI. You cannot imagine the progress that we are doing monthly. It's amazing. The company and the corporate is acting so fast. I mean, even with our experience, at the beginning it was difficult, right?
Yeah.
But once we approached them, we worked very fast to fix what needs to be done. And the company is moving very fast, investing, you cannot imagine, only on that. It's research, it's sales, it's pre-sales, everybody is all on that, and this is really amazing. And we see more and more that we are capturing a market share in this area because all of the advantages that we just discussed. And at the end, it's about technology, right? And I think, I'm sure, that we have really a great technology. And that's the reason that we are progressing very well with clients. Yeah.
So let's move a little bit. You've been in the tech industry for decades. I've been around a little bit as well, and I want to ask you about the future. And there are lots of apocalyptic approaches or concerns that AI is going to make all of us obsolete and we're going to be redundant. I think we've seen the internet revolution, right? We've been there. We've seen the mobile phones revolution and the smartphones, and we're now at another huge technological change. But unlike maybe the others, this one feels very, very different, maybe somewhat concerning. Where do you see AI in, I don't know, 5 years, 10 years? Are we going to be completely out?
No, I don't think so. I think that eventually it will change jobs, like any revolution. But it will do good. I mean, this technology can really help us to be more productive, to grow our business, to bring innovation in our life. It's a good revolution. It's a very good revolution. And one more important thing is regulation. Revolution and regulation. So last week, I don't know if you saw, but now we have a new regulation in the EU. It's called EU AI Act. And the EU and US are trying to put some order in the market. Okay, so and this is good. We like it as IBM. The regulation will be on the AI companies like IBM, and we still like it because we believe that there needs to be an order in the market. There are things that we can do and cannot do. Cyber attack for sure not. This is just an example. There are many things that we need to avoid to do. If you are familiar with the GDPR, then you're familiar with the fees, with the fines of 35 million euros. The same in this regulation.
It's quite expensive
yes,
to
yes, in
breach
this regulation.
AI.
Yes, so there are lots of obligation for companies like IBM to behave right, I will say. So I don't think it will change. It will change the way we work. It will change jobs, obviously. But it's interesting. Let's see. I mean, it's a good technology. It's a good technology.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think that, first of all, there is a role for governments, and we should all take part in making sure that this technology remains in a way governed and contained. But it could be weaponized. It could be a dangerous play, like all the other technologies that
Yes.
we've seen before. and I think that we all have an interesting role in trying to make good out of this revolution. So maybe. Last question. You mentioned that IBM was founded in Israel in 1949. Hopefully, it's going to last until 2949. What's coming next for IBM? You did mention quantum computing, which is something that we didn't talk too much today.
Yeah. Let me say something about it because the quantum computing will change the world. I'm telling you. The progress that we are doing, it's amazing. We are announcing new CPUs every year and modular systems. You cannot imagine the progress. I can give you one example a use case that we are working with Mercedes-Benz, and they are developing the next generation of electrical batteries. So what if they will manage to charge the batteries in 5 minutes, not in 8 hours, in 5 minutes? So these kind of things really can change the industry, right? We are working with the Cleveland Clinic to develop medicines. So today, you probably, or not, but it takes 10 years to develop a medicine. What if we can make it 2 years, 3 years, and not 10 years? With this technology.
Right.
So there are many use cases right now. Cleveland Clinic have their own quantum computing in the cafeteria of it's very nice.
I might buy one for my house.
Yeah, it's 2 million and you can do it. So there are many use cases that can really change for good our life. The vision of IBM is to become a catalyst for a better world. And hopefully quantum will achieve that in the near future.
Listen, this is definitely a great way to finish this episode with such an optimistic statement. I think that quantum computing coupled with AI has the potential to really improve everybody's life and make this world a better place for us. And Shai, thank you so much.
Thank
you. It's
you.
been a pleasure. Thanks for all the insights and much appreciated.
Thank you.
Awesome.